Bob, a new employee at Samsung, was going to the purchasing department of the company with his purchase requisition to purchase some new material on behalf of his production department. When he entered the room, his curiosity grew on why he must go to the purchasing department to request something and how the purchasing process is.
Hi Steve, I'm here with the purchase requisition to request for some much needed material for my department, but I can't help to be curious on why I must come to you to request and how the purchasing process is.
I see. Well, this is called the purchasing organization and we are responsible to purchasing anything that other departments need. This is so that it's easier to regulate where does all the money goes from Samsung. However, a lot of corruption and scandal can happen here too.
Why is that?
This is because we have the final say on which vendor to buy from regardless of price and quality of the material, so must be careful and be aware.
So, is there a way to correctly choose a vendor to buy from?
Yes, but we don't always have to buy to get the material that we need. For example, right now we need materials such as microphone and speakers for the production of the Samsung Galaxy S23. Instead of buying, we must check whether we have that material from within the company and the company branches. Because as you know, Samsung is a global business and have warehouse and headquarters all around the world. If we don't have the material within the business, we can go to source list and outline agreement. Source list is where there's a list of vendors and the materials that they are selling, and outline agreement is an existing long-term contract that makes sure there is a continuous supply of materials. Some of the vendors that Samsung has right now are AAC Technologies Holdings Inc., Canon Inc. and Hitachi Ltd. However, if all doesn't work, we can request for quotation. This is inviting vendors to submit their quotation. And from all the quotation we received, we will start comparing vendors to find the best quotation to order the material.
So, what happened next after you found the right vendors?
Then a purchase order will be issued to the vendor, then we will notify the vendors, the vendor will start to make the microphone and speakers, ship the products our warehouse, and we will receive the goods receipt with the products. There's a few things we must do during the goods receipt stage, such as checking the quantity and the quality of the products, update the purchase order history and update our inventory.
Is that the end?
Almost. After the goods receipt, we will receive a bill or an invoice and we will have to pay to the vendors accordingly. But it is important to check the details of the invoice before paying.
Wow, thank you Steve for your time.
Some time have passed and Bob got curious on who decide on how many materials should be purchased and when to buy and what Samsung should buy. He then proceeded to ask his manager.
John, I got curious on who get to decide on what material should Samsung buy and how many each material to buy and when they should buy.
The head of Samsung, such as CEO, COO, CIO and even the marketing director, will come together and do strategic planning. This is where they will forecast the future sales for the mid to long-term plan based on the past sales, trends, seasonal trends. From the forecasting that has just made, Samsung will then be able to work out their sales and operation planning, SOP, that includes the sales plan, production plan and capacity plan for the next business year.
So, do they make the final decision based on the forecasting?
Nope, this is because forecasting is always wrong, as there are too many variables that we just cannot foresee and is beyond our control, like the pandemic that happened a few years ago.
So, what's after strategic planning?
After strategic planning, it will be detailed planning. In detailed planning, it is separated into two parts: master production scheduling, MPS, and material requirement planning, MRP. Samsung uses MPS to plan what, when and how many raw materials is needed to produce all the type of smartphone they have. And Samsung uses MRP to calculate the net requirements that takes into consideration of the availability of the materials in the warehouse based on the need that was generated from MPS. When all this is ready in plain finish, it is time for the execution and manufacturing of their products.
Finally!
Yes, Samsung uses an extensive suite of innovative and fully integrated manufacturing automation solutions to manufacture their products. Some of these examples will be video analytics, asset tracking and automatic guided vehicle control. In other words, the factory of Samsung where the production happened is mostly done by machines like process such as circuit design, packaging and printed circuit layout and test production.
Wow, the products is being manufactured by machine.
Yes, fascinating, right? After finished production, Samsung have manufacturing site all around the world. This means that once the finished product is ready to be shipped out globally. At the same time, there are some things that need to be updated within the sites, such as the stock quantity, stock value, and production order. At the same time, 3 documents are being created too. This is the material document, accounting document, and the controlling document.
Oh, and an in-order settlement, right?
Yes, where Samsung have to analyze the total cost of production to see if it has exceeds the target production cost.
Thanks, John, for the explanation.
Bob was walking with Sarah, who works in the sales department of Samsung. He was talking to Sarah about what he had learned about the material management and production planning from Steve and John.
I see. Do you know what's next after production planning?
No?
The next step is sales and distribution. This is where we talk on how the finished products such as smartphones reaches the consumer and how sales are generated. Want to learn about it?
Yes!
We will be talking on how and where Samsung sells their products first. Samsung uses various distribution channels to reach their customers, such as retail distribution, direct sales from their website and online stores, and national agents. With these, Samsung can generate 236,807.0 billion South Korean won in 2020 with an increase of 2.8% year after year even during the pandemic. This has also enabled them to be consistently among the top 3 smartphone vendors in the world with Xiaomi and Apple.
Wow, that's a lot of money!
Yes, it is. With that much money generated, the turnover for Samsung inventory is also high. Therefore, Samsung uses various tools and strategy to make sure the stock in the inventory keeps at optimal level to maximize profit and reduce loss.
What strategic do they use?
Samsung uses Advanced Planning and Scheduling (APS) system. There's also inventory system in the tablet devices that was given to their associate. The last strategy is they are always constantly checking the reorder quantity or EOQ. This is all to ensure that the inventory level is always at optimal.
I see, that's how they always keep their inventory level at optimal. But how does the retailers or even the customer pay for what they order?
Samsung provides several programs for their customer to pay. There's this program called Guarantee Buyback Program. This program will ensure Samsung issue a credit that is equal to 50% of the full retail price of the specific device back to the customer. There's also a trade-in program that allows customers to trade in their old devices for some credits that they can use in their new purchases. Samsung also offer Buy Now Pay Later option and Try Now, Pay Later program. The last program that Samsung offer is called Financing and is only for approved customers. It allows the customer to spread the total cost of a device over a period and pay monthly installment with a minimum of $250 spend.
Is that the end of sales and distribution?
Nope, the last part of sales and distribution is shipment or the distribution. Once someone has made an order, the customer or the retailer, Samsung will have to check the availability of the product, then send a sales order. Finally, they will arrange for delivery to their customers.
Wow! Thanks, Sarah, for the information.